The Technivore proudly presents the Phil B podcast, starring Phil Bojwane.
I feel we might be on the brink of World War III, actually. In order for peace to be attained, we must first go through a war. Find a place that's really rural, on the edge of one corner of the world, and just start something over there.
I just wanted to find out. You tell me as a doctor, because I am looking at this COVID situation. But the truth is, I like to call it the Chinese virus. But I'm not going to say that to put you in a position. But these facts are facts. It stemmed from that place. So what else am I going to call it? If it stems from Italy, I'll call it the Italian virus. The Italian job. I'll call it something like that, or the Tony Soprano virus. But that aside, anyway, how is the situation in India right now? In Bombay, aren't you? In Mumbai.
Yes, in Mumbai at the moment we are having a large number of cases, obviously. Because still the first thing is it's a virus and it's a new virus.
Yeah.
And it's a airborne virus.
That's right.
So pretty much like measles, chickenpox, it's going to get to everybody. So what happens is in the initial phase, because it's a new virus, nobody is infected. So even if one person gets it, and the RO, that is the number of people one person infects, is about 2 to 3. So he will for sure infect 2 or 3 people. Those 2 or 3 will infect 2 or 3 people. So in the initial phase, there is everybody to infect.
Correct.
So the number of cases coming up is going to be exponentially higher.
This is what
happens
said.
is when you get to around 50, 60, 70% of the population getting the infection, there are only 30 left to infect. So I'm sorry, I'm sounding very, very insensitive because I'm speaking like a epidemiologist or a mathematician.
Yep.
I'm completely taking away the human angle of it, so I'm sorry, apologies for that.
No, there's no apologies needed. I mean, I am actually exactly on the same page as you, because this is what I've said, that it's already airborne. I mean, the chances of you getting it or anyone getting it or even staying at home or going out doesn't make a difference anymore. Putting on a mask is not even being fully equipped. If you really want to not expose yourself to this virus, wear a hazmat suit, put on a shield, put on a face shield and go out. But to get to that point, it's quite absurd. So I have accepted the fact that this is something, like you just said, it's like it's gone on to become as what I expected, like a regular seasonal sort of flu. That's what it's become, isn't it? But it's quite, it's more lethal than what people might think it is. But still, to me, it comes across as amplified pneumonia. I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, but maybe you can tell me better. But the way I see it, I think people are not, everyone has been told to put their lives on hold. I find it quite absurd that we have to live like this. Why can't we carry on as normal people?
Well, that's because, again, the mathematics. If a large number of people get infected in a short span of time, the typical virus causes about 85% of people to be infected without symptoms. 10% people, that's up to 95, get some mild symptoms, which requires maybe a paracetamol or something. 5% people will require hospitalization, and 1% will die. All right. Now, what we are talking about is we are talking about a population in millions, and we are talking about getting there in a very short span of time. So, if you are going to get millions of people in a few days, then that 5% and 1% become large numbers.
Right.
And those numbers cannot be managed in the hospital, the beds, number of beds, and the hospital care service that you have. So, the ideal situation would be
stay home
to get the infection come to you in a staggered fashion, so that your hospitals don't get inundated. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like a factory. But that's what, in a way, has been attempted. Because when you do a lockdown, you are preventing a large number of people getting infected in a short span of time. And the converse, you are hoping it becomes true that a less number of people get infected in a large span of time. So when you cut to the 5% and the 1%, you are able to serve all the 5%. The unfortunate truth is 1% are still going to die.
Right.
You put it with numbers of cities in India. So 1% is a huge number. Fortunately, what's been very fortunate so far, the numbers haven't been anywhere that bad. Hopefully, it will stay that way in India. Now, we don't know what's protecting so far. Maybe it's a BCG immunity or whatever. And maybe I hope not, but maybe it's too early to say. Because we are really expecting a big surge in numbers in June. The real surge is not a surprise in the number of people who get infected, but the people how quickly they get infected, because those many, 5% of those many are going to need hospitalization. Now, what happens is, like we said, 1% has a high risk of mortality. But if the other 5% or the 4% don't get simple services like a bed and oxygen and maybe some other higher support, then you have a larger number within this 4% who may succumb. So that's the real mathematics.
I
And
see.
you're trying to avoid that.
But living like this is ridiculous for everybody, for the world. You cannot keep locking down people every 2 or 3 months at a time, and people have no money, economies go astray. This is not the way. It has essentially destroyed the joys and essence of life, and the world must crawl back to get it. Must fight back.
My name's Phil B, and you were listening to the Phil B Podcast. Good night, everyone.